Hello, and welcome back to another deep dive into weather. And happy Wednesday. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, our weather headlines for today is pretty much the same as yesterday. Still getting that fall preview. That's going to change starting tomorrow. Below average temperatures, again, going to change starting tomorrow. And then dry stretch of weather is going to continue as well. So here's a look from the Scott Stadium camera. I'm sure when you woke up this morning, you probably noticed it was a little bit darker outside. So we do have mostly cloudy skies for you as of right now. It kind of differentiates between the valley and central Virginia. So central Virginia is experiencing more of the cloudiness. The valley is actually experiencing some more of that sunshine. So first let me talk about temperatures. So far this month, kind of already been talking about this. We did have a warm up Friday going into Saturday. We were above average, and you can see the past 3 days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, after we had that cool down, we've been staying below average. Our average is closer to the mid to low 80s, closer to the lower 80s now that we're reaching closer to the middle of September, but still below average. Here's a look at what our average high temps are usually. September 1st, 85, today 82, so that's kind of where we're supposed to be at, and we're going to be gearing towards that as we head into tomorrow. But let's talk about today first. So your current temperatures are in the upper 60s, lower 70s, so we've got 73 in Charlottesville, 68 in Orange, 73 in Madison, 68 in Harrisonburg, 69 in Luray. So you might need a jacket out there. It's pretty much the same temperatures that we had yesterday, a little bit cooler, and also it's going to feel a little bit cooler because of those clouds as well. You know, the sun was out yesterday, plenty of sunshine, so that made us feel a little bit warmer. So a little bit of a chillier day for today in regards to what we've seen. Looking at our national temperatures, pretty warm further south, but we've got 65 in Washington, 78 in Chicago, 66 in Boston. So kind of floating around in the 60s, 70s, do have some 80s down there further south, as I mentioned. And the difference that we're noticing is that, you know, last week and the week before that, we were seeing below average temperatures for most of the United States. Now we're starting to gear towards above average. So we're having a bit of a heat up for all of the United States. You can see our viewing area, you can't really see it here, I'll show you. Our viewing area is actually going to stay more towards closer to our average. So we're actually going to be like kind of right around our average, maybe a little bit above it as we head into later this week. But for the most part, we're actually getting to our average temperatures as we head into tomorrow. So here's a look at that. 70s for today, 80s for tomorrow and Friday. We've got 82 for both days. And we're going to see a difference in the sun as well. So we've got the cloud cover for today. That's going to change as we head into tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine for those. Your current dew points are a little bit higher than what we had previously. We're in the upper 50s. That's due to, you know, not only the cloudiness was being brought from the shore, but also some moisture. So just a little bit of uptick there, but nothing, you know, too crazy. We're still remaining pleasant, kind of in between pleasant and sticky. Once we hit around 60 to 65 with our dew points, that's when you really start to feel it. So we'll definitely still take these dew points. As we look through the rest of your day going into this evening, we should start to see some breaks in the clouds and a bit more sunshine. The clouds are going to be moving further eastward, and as we head into tonight, it should be relatively clear. Now, I'm going to explain to you why we saw an uptick in the clouds and why we expect it to start to fade away as we head into the rest of your day. So you can see on the radar, the cloud cover, the rainfall, closer to the coast, further east. So we've been having the past couple of days a stationary front that's on the east. You can see that there, that line of rain and clouds, that's the stationary front. That's kind of just been staying there and is going to stay there. Now what we saw develop today was a low pressure system that kind of moved upwards along the front. And we've been having, you know, some onshore flow. So we've got the winds, the low pressure system, and then we've got the winds bringing in from that the clouds and the moisture. So that's why we saw an uptick of that for today, but it's moving further northward. So as it continues to head further north, it shouldn't be affecting us, and the clouds will start to recede back to the east. So Here's a look into that. I had this model, what this model is predicting when to see the sun. So this model is predicting it a little bit sooner than I think we'll see it, but this is what this model is predicting, 3 p.m. right there. We could also see a stray shower. As I mentioned, most of the rain is further east, but we could see a stray shower with these clouds. So this is around 7:30 p.m. You can see it still keeps a lot of the cloud cover to the eastern portion of our viewing area, but still giving way to some sunshine or clear skies as we head into tonight for a lot of our viewing area. Now, as we head to your day for tomorrow, it's going to look different than what we had today. You know, we were dealing with the clouds today, so we're going to have a lot more sunshine for tomorrow, a mixture of sun and clouds. It's going to start out cool, 58 degrees, kind of what we've been getting used to with the cooler mornings, cooler nights. Your temperature range is warmer, so as I mentioned, we're going to jump to the 80s. So we've got the upper 70s for the valley, lower 80s for central Virginia. That's what we're expecting for tomorrow. Now, we haven't seen rain. We did see some rain Sunday. We saw some rain last week on Thursday, but it still wasn't very widespread. And, you know, we are taking notice of that with our drought monitor. We're seeing these conditions start to turn more dry as we continue to see this dry weather. And right now, we don't see an end in sight for the dry weather, so unfortunately, that also means for your allergy forecast, high numbers will continue, 8 for weeds and for grass. And it is hurricane season, and today is a special day in regards to that. Today is actually the peak day for hurricane season. So the biggest increase in tropical activity is usually for today, but what we're actually seeing is actually really uncommon, you know, for there to be no chance of development within the next 7 days. This is peak time right here, you know, the end of August, beginning of September, but what we're seeing right now is nothing. So currently, there is no activity expected, no development expected within the next 7 days. So some people are attributing that to the dry air from the Saharan desert. Other people, you know, there's debates out there about what's causing this, but a lot of people are thinking that maybe we'll see an uptick of above average activity after peak season. So we're going to continue to monitor the Atlantic Ocean no matter what. You know, hurricane season's not over, so we'll keep our eyes to this and keep you guys informed, of course. And here's a look at your next 7 days. So we've got your 7-day forecast here. I mean, pretty similar conditions for, you know, all this week, next week. I don't want to say a boring forecast because I love the sunshine and I actually like these temperatures. You know, they're not too cool, not too hot. So I would, in my opinion, really, really great weather, but just kind of repeating a little bit warmer as we head into Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But other than that, pretty similar conditions for the rest of your week this week and going into next. Of course, weather changes rather quickly, so we'll continue to keep you guys updated and monitor that as well. Well, thanks so much for joining me for another deep dive into weather on this Wednesday. Forewarning, on Friday, we will not have a deep dive into weather. I'll try to remind you again tomorrow in case you're watching, but we will have a deep dive into weather tomorrow, just not on Friday. And of course, as always, if you'd like to see anything different, you have any suggestions, send me an email, and I'll take those into consideration. So thanks so much for joining, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.